We got to 4 about an hour ago. 5 minutes Turkish.
Let's go.
Yeah!
Well, good evening, Barnes.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Good to see you.
Likewise, chap.
Can I just say hello and thank you to Rent a Crowd?
Ta-da!
Thank you very much. Thank you to the current producer for being here.
Yes.
And thank you to our viewer for tuning
We
in
haven't
this
got any yet.
evening. Yeah.
Do we know if we got any?
Barnes, it feels
10.
It feels like summertime
9.
already.
Does
or
it?
is that these new lights that are shining
I don't
brightly?
know.
I don't know.
Makeup are late because they
It
haven't.
feels like summer. I can smell the cricket season. I can just smell it. Yes, that's what I can smell. Sorry, Rent a Crowd misbehaving there.
I
That
just
was terrible,
wonder,
wasn't it?
I just wonder whether or not I got my old jock strap on. If you can smell cricket.
It just feels like spring has sprung. Daffodils are out, which, as a Welshman, you would like. And
I was certainly not Welsh on Saturday, Ben.
we'll get on to that in a minute. And it's just been a fantastic, exciting build-up to the cricket season that we're about to start now. And as I'll explain later on, we're going to have these every month now, from now all the way through to the end of the season. The current producer has agreed that. Haven't you, current producer?
When you said it's exciting build-up, I thought it meant tonight's podcast.
Yes.
Well, you didn't say that.
So, anyway, why don't you ask me if we've got anything on tonight?
I don't know if I want to now. Anyway, Bear, what have we got on tonight's show?
Well, we haven't really got much. actually.
Okay.
Well, anyway, Barnes, in a packed show, I'll just do a quick resume and then we'll get on to the serious stuff. We're going to do a little bit of an update on what's happened since our last meeting in the world, a little bit of a sporting update, because one or two things that happened on the sporting front,
Yeah.
a little bit of politics. As you know, we're apolitical. We're not allowed to talk about politics, but we can make innuendos and we can do anything that probably won't get us shot or taken to the salt mines. Everything's fine. Then we've got cricket-related issues. This is your department, Barnes, because you are a stato. So you're going to tell us about all cricket-related issues.
Thank
if
you.
you make any mistakes, I've got notes here to pick you up on it. Then, possibly the highlight of the whole evening, we've got a special guest.
I've heard. Is it special needs guest or special
We've got a
guest?
special guest. And all I'm going to say is, he is the son of probably one of the most important people at the cricket club. That's all I'm going to say at this
One of
moment.
the most famous.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And you're going to ask him a few questions.
Oh,
I might
yeah.
chip in
Oh,
with a few
yeah.
questions as well. Then I've got a mini quiz for you.
Nice.
Which is pretty straightforward, apart from the last two questions, which you might find a bit challenging.
Okay.
This is great. Then we're going to just do a little bit of a summary of what guests we're planning on having between now, the start of the season, and then throughout the season. And then I'm going to finish with a little bit of a special tribute to the two Ronnies, since we like to finish in a two Ronnies-esque
Yeah, we do.
type
We
way,
do.
don't we?
I think with this bowler hat, if you got one, we could be Laurel and Hardy.
So perhaps you'd like to just tell us about your hat, because it has a special memory for you today, doesn't it?
Yeah, so my dear old man passed away a few weeks ago, and just sorting everything. Oh, God rest his soul. I was just sorting stuff out in the house, and I stumbled across this bowler hat, which he had no need to actually ever wear, but he did a very good trick with it. So I just thought I'd keep it because it's a good hat, and I knew it would be better than the hat that you'd wear today, and that's without it.
Exactly the same
Size melon.
head
Yeah,
as
if
your
there's not a
father.
lot going on in the old Watts. We're called Watts for a reason. Do you know why?
No.
We used to be called 40 Watts at school because we were a bit dim.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite funny.
But I'll tell you what.
What?
You know what's what?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone old enough to
thank you.
remember that advert? Yes, that's a great advert.
Aye.
Anyway, so since the last show...
So tell us about that complete thing.
This is a hat that Freddie Bear bought for me. I think it was either my birthday or Christmas.
He didn't
This was
like
one
you
of
at the
hats
time.
that I think when the thieves stole my car about a year ago, they didn't like this hat and they threw it back. So this is now probably one of my only hats, because obviously I can only narrow that down to the thieves clearly were Liverpool supporters.
Fucking Scousers, Nick.
Well,
You can't,
I couldn't possibly say anything like that. So you can.
And
make
we've
your
nicked
own
the league
deductions
off
from that. Anyway, talking Liverpool. So it's been an interesting week. You blew the League Cup.
No, we just got beaten by a better team on the day.
You got dumped out of the Champions League.
Yeah, we got beaten over two legs by a better team
And you
on the
haven't
2
got
days.
enough points ahead of Arsenal to win the Premier League, because we're going to catch you.
Yeah, you probably are.
No,
Yeah.
I think we're probably not. So
Yeah.
I think you'd go
Are you
for
trying
that,
to
wouldn't
wind me up about football?
you? No, I'm not trying to wind you up about football. Arsenal have only got to beat Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
And
I'd have a job to beat an egg, wouldn't
then
I?
we're going to win the Champions League, which, as we all know, is not going to happen.
Yeah.
But we can dream.
You got to keep dreaming.
You guys have been sensational this season.
If you don't have a dream, they can't come true.
You guys have been sensational this season.
What's
I have to
coming
say.
now?
No, you have. You've been a brilliant side. It's been a joy to watch Liverpool this season.
Are you
It's been
okay?
fantastic. Anyway, in other sporting news...
Has anyone got any notes? Is it 911 or
In other sporting
999?
news, we have a new tennis star, Jack Draper. Just won a
Brilliant.
tournament.
Wasn't that good?
Andy Murray, who? That's what I say now. We have
Yeah.
a new kid on the block, Jack
Sure,
Draper.
we had Hemon Hill and Murray Mount. What Draper's what?
I don't know. Answers on a postcard, please.
Yeah, good question.
You've got an idea, viewer.
No, but wasn't that great? I was watching the golf, right? And the golf obviously went off air for 4 hours because of the lightning. So I thought, oh, I'll just flick in, see how Drake... And he'd already won, 6-2,
Apparently,
6-2.
when he beat Alcatraz in the semi-final, Alcatraz was absolutely terrified physically of Draper.
He's a monster.
He is a unit.
He's a big
He
old
reminds me a lot of me.
And he's English, isn't he? He's not a South African, Canadian...
Rory McIlroy, he won a tournament.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
France pipped England to the Six Nations.
Well-
They just pipped them. But it just leads me on nicely, a nice segue onto what I was doing on Saturday.
Can I just say, just two things? You asked me who was going to win the Six Nations, and you
said-
forgot to mention that. And then also, when you put your Instagram post up, bearing in mind you are probably an Instagram sensation, it's probably worth having it so people can hear what you're saying.
I have to explain, viewer, if any of you, any of the people unlucky enough to try and work out what I said for about 5 minutes sitting in my car on the way to Wales, it was really entertaining stuff, but unfortunately I had it connected to my Bluetooth, which the sound was turned down, and it ended up being a fantastic meme. So if you're good at lip reading, you'll understand what a fantastic post it was.
I'm actually... what I was waiting for was the guy from the BBC to be standing there going...
It was great. What I do like is...
We've upset Badger.
Yeah, sorry, bad.
You what, Paul?
Obviously Barnes comes straight on reply saying, "Can't hear what you're saying, my love." But what I did like was the politeness of the other 75 people that just liked it.
Yeah. So it just proves they don't listen to you.
Obviously, they went, "Oh, another bear rant, boom, yes, like."
Yeah.
Didn't realise what I thought. Shall I try and read it? And I can't. And I'm a one-take guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you're just a professional.
You can't possibly do it again. But anyway, can I
So
just say
the sad thing is, because I'm rubbish at that type of stuff, I then saw Ida in the afternoon and she said, "Oh, Bear's gone to Cardiff." I said, "How do you like that?" And she couldn't work it out, and she is an Instagrammable person. So,
Anyway,
I'm glad it wasn't just me that you were mute.
What a week. I was with my old university fullback mate who is Welsh, and poor bloke didn't know where to go. I've never seen the Principality empty as quickly as it did. I've never heard such a quiet Principality. They did start singing Swing Low after the first try, which I thought was a bit previous, and thought that's a bit risky. And then the rub of the green certainly went with us.
Yeah, it did.
Headers seem to be the new thing. Instead of trying to intercept the ball, what you do is you head it.
Yeah, it's good
and
knowledge.
that doesn't count as a knock-on. They have
No.
to change that law, surely, because I think
Why?
the people are starting to head it in quite regular basis.
No, I
More often than the Arsenal strikers do, I tell you. I saw more accurate headers at the Principality Stadium on Saturday than I've seen at the Emirates all season.
That's because the rugby players are better. They can get the ball onto their heads.
So that was good. So you were right, France did win, but probably not by as much as you thought they would. And dear Wales. That's what I'm going to say, dear Wales. Lando Norris, we have a new Grand Prix star. He won the Grand Prix at Australia.
Is he English?
Yes.
Is he?
Yes.
Christ. Well done,
And
Lando.
not all good news. The England white ball cricket team are in the doldrums.
That's a worry.
Our
isn't it?
iconic best white ball player of all time has thrown himself onto his cricket bat and resigned. And we now need to go back to the drawing board and regurgitate.
I think that
ourselves.
really helped the morale for the last game as well, didn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, very good.
Some people saying that Harry Brook is the next captain. I'm not sure about
Well,
that.
he's been banned from the IPL,
I'm
hasn't he?
not sure
for some
about that.
reason.
So that's
He's
the
pulled
sporting,
out, but allegedly he was going to get banned
that's the
from the
sporting
IPL.
stuff that's gone on. We can't move on without talking about some of the things that are going on in the world. Trump and JD Vance versus poor president from Ukraine. I mean, what on earth was that all about? And Starmer and Reeves, we'll get on to them later. The country's in a good way, and I'm very happy to say that there's another spring budget coming up for just a slam dunk the good way in which we are.
Here's a question for you. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
you're a very intelligent man, and I look up to you a lot, right?
That's very
Which
kind.
is in the worst state, the UK and what's going on in our government, or Welsh rugby?
I think
Good question.
it's a very good question. I think you have to say at the moment Welsh rugby is in a worse state because its doldrums go back further than the current economic crisis go back. But in 5 years' time, I think that the current party in charge will have completely trumped, if you pardon the pun, will have completely trumped the Welsh situation. And by then, you might well find that Wales are now back where they should be. Possibly the third best
Yeah,
team
I
in the
think
Six
they've got
Nations.
more chance of them turning it around.
But
Anyway,
so we're now on to cricket-related issues, Barnes. This is your department.
is it? So I
where
need to get a bit of
I can
paper
have a
out.
bit of a snooze and drink some of my lime and soda, and you've got a whole page of stats that can really fascinate our viewer.
it's not a load of stats because we haven't really got any stats for this year because I did my
No, I know.
stats for last year.
Okay, good.
So I suppose the only not exciting news is that the first round of the VKO starts on the 13th of April. Can you believe that?
And is that home or away?
We're at home against Langford.
And will we be doing some commentary on that? What, the 13th of April?
Yeah. Well, you
Okay,
might be one short in the comms box. Got the nod.
What's that for?
VKO. Just saying. But I did reply to the person that asked me and said, you must have younger, fitter, better cricketers than me knocking about by the 13th of April.
I'm very happy for you to play as long as we can get you properly wired up.
Wired up? What do you mean? I'm wired up as an
wired up so that we can actually have a chat with you while you're running around the boundary and throwing yourself at it. Because I have to say, the few times that you played in the last couple of years, you've been the best fielder.
Shut up, you silly arse.
You have,
Anyway,
I've been absolutely sensational. I've been proud of you. You've been absolutely great. So we're due to be doing comments on that.
can we have another sherry for Bear because he's going well?
Can I just say, not only have I got a very, very big puffer anorak, but I've also bought a very, very big gilet to go under the very, very big
Have you?
puffer anorak, just to get us through the first 5 months of the cricket season, to take us up to late August when it actually gets quite warm in the horse box.
Yeah.
Up
We
until
need
that
some
point, we'll be
blankets though,
cold.
don't we? Because otherwise the wind just blows up your kill.
But I understand, Badger has just told me, he's reassured me that the horse box, the bear pit, is being turned into a mini palace with perspex sides.
It's in the conceptual stage.
To be fair, Badger's been very, very busy helping me, so thank you, Paul.
I'm very worried about Badger being involved with
Anyway,
any kind of
so
conception.
the other fixtures that weekend, or
Yes.
in the first round of the VKO, is Nondis versus Horsepath, Chew versus the Baldens, Minster Lovell versus Aston Rowett, and Stanton Harcourt are taking on somebody that I've obviously put wrong here, and Tiddington versus Sanford St Martin.
So Stanton Harcourt against Oxford Downs would be a fantastic local derby.
Wouldn't that be a
it?
great one?
That would be,
Ooh.
and I tell you, it would be quite interesting playing it on their pitch as well, because that's an interesting pitch. I have tried to bat on that a couple of times back in the day.
Used to. There we go. It used to be a road, Stanton, because it's on gravel, so you
Yeah.
could wet it and
Yes,
roll it.
yeah,
The old man
yeah.
was a groundsman there.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
And obviously the first team boys can't play because they can't play at that level because they're obviously they're heroes and superheroes. But there's also a pre-season tour to Bath that weekend. So I think there's one or two boys going to go down, play on the Saturday and come
what
back.
would be the format of that pre-season tour?
But they're playing on the
Just
Saturday.
as a matter of interest,
No,
is
they're
there going to be
playing-
an element of fitness involved?
Yeah. They're playing Lansdowne on the Saturday and then Bath on the Sunday. So like a first team fixture one day, second team fixture that. And I think they're all staying in a health spa.
Are they?
On the
And
Saturday
will they
night.
be drinking nutritional
Yes,
healthy
they will.
drinks?
Yes.
Will they?
Yeah.
Well, I think they'll come back raring to go for the season then,
I would
won't
have
they?
thought so.
And the first league game for the first team is, I found out the
You've
other day,
got that.
I've got that somewhere is on the 10th of May, and that's at home against the old enemy Aston Rowett. So, and then the last one, this is really well organised, on the 6th of September is also at home, which means that will just roll us nicely into presumably the end of season awards evening, and that's against High Wycombe.
Would you see High Wycombe was now, Dan Lincoln's now had more clubs than Nick Faldo, but he's always wanted to go to Wycombe.
High Wycombe are going to be a handful. There's no doubt about
Yeah,
that.
I think so.
So actually, the first and the last game both home, which is fantastic from a club point of view, I think.
Yeah, good.
Okay, cool. What's next?
Well, that's it. And unless we'd like to invite that Loz guy up.
Well, we can. We got obviously we've got a new pro coming for the first team called Lewis Delport, and I understand we're possibly getting an overseas exciting Australian for the second team. Rumour has it, which should also be fantastic. I don't know if that's secret or whether I just...
Well, it's not
if
now,
if
is
let
it?
the
'Cause
Aussie hands in the back.
seven people
Can I just
know.
ask the viewer to pretend I didn't say that, because it's a secret. Apparently.
I'm going to ask you a question, controversial, and I would like to ask Woodsy this. Is it right to have an overseas pro in the second team? Does that stop homegrown players developing to go up? Because the one thing we've always struggled with is not having enough people that are good enough to play in the home counties Prem. And whether or not you're Cherwell Div 1 or Div 2, the gap between even the feeder league to Prem is massive, right? So we have got a very limited lifeblood of people that are coming through the ranks that will then go on and represent the first team. So having somebody in the second team that's an overseas pro that will go home in September, probably about 4 stone heavier than when he got here, is that the right thing to do for the development of the cricket club?
I don't think he's a pro. He's just a young overseas kid.
Okay.
Like back in my day.
So a young overseas kid.
Matty Elliott was playing for.
So a
Leighton
young
Buzzard and things like
overseas
that.
kid
Yes.
that's going to be 4 stone overweight when he leaves here. Is that the right thing to do to develop the youngsters of this cricket club to go on and play in the Home Counties Premier League?
The good news is.
Yes or no question?
The good news is that we are commentators. We don't need to have an opinion on that.
I'm asking.
No, my personal view is if he's potentially a very, very good player,
Yeah.
players that play with him will benefit from that.
Okay.
But there's no guarantee he'll get in the team. Is there? I
Good idea of bringing him over to chuck him in the threes then.
Well, I mean, he's got to be in on merit. He can't just be in the team just because he's over from Australia, can he?
No, mate.
Also, I guess there's a chance that if the pro in the first team, Lewis Delport, turns out to not perform, he might not get in. He might end up playing in the seconds, and the Australia might end up playing in the first.
Cool, that's a thought.
But he can't do that because he's not played first-class cricket, has he? Or has he played first-class cricket? Well,
You can't do that. It's a really silly thing to say. Why did you say that?
Couldn't we just change their names around?
Yeah, of course we could. Yeah,
Good.
don't tell
So you
anyone
didn't
again.
see
Don't
that.
tell
That's
anyone.
right. That's why I'm not in charge of anything important in this cricket club. Anyway, so
Entertainment.
and the people we've had abroad, we've had Maz. He's gone the other way and he's coming back. He'll come back better looking, if that's possible, and more chiselled and tanned.
What a
and-
beautiful specimen, isn't he?
I'm looking forward to commentating on this. He's a lovely boy.
Well, if he gets some runs and doesn't get injured.
Yep. And of course, we've already Woodsy is the new master in charge of cricket, and we will be having him in to do a little bit of an interview.
Yeah.
And I don't know if his podcast is still going, but we wish that all the best. But seriously, and I think it's nice to intertwine with other podcasts.
I can tell you're
if they
still
are
going because they're scraping the bottom of the barrels. He asked me to come on it tomorrow. And
Anyway, that's another other podcast that might or might not be going. Shall we get our first? So, really, Lee's little introduction. A man that had his last season cut short, and the first team ended up playing with one of Freddie's mates in the field while Loz was taken to the hospital. Very bravely started his rehab, and from what I understand, he's pulling up trees and is well on his way to recovery. So let's hear it. Rent a crowd. Let's hear it for last year's vice captain, Loz Brock.
You look very serious, Brocky.
Welcome, Loz.
How are we doing?
Very good. You get Barnes asks you the serious questions, and I just throw some completely irrelevant ones in every now and then.
I haven't got any questions for
Well,
you. apart from really daft ones.
while you're getting your notes out, can I just ask you how? I imagine it was very, very painful. But what first went through your mind when you were sprinting through the outfield, and I think you got stuck in a sort of pothole or something and twisted it? What's the first thing that came to your?
Probably what will Gary Brock think? I think that's probably the main thing.
Poor old Gary.
Yeah, Gary Brock's more disappointed in me than ever, to be honest, at the moment.
Well, it means he's got to talk more to Barnes than me because he can't watch you doing your stuff. But testament to him as being such a fantastic club man, he still came to every single second of every single game and did the pitch. I mean, we'll get on to him in a minute, but I mean, I know cricket's your life, apart from a little bit of football every now and then. But it must have just been absolutely gutting.
Yeah, no, it was really quite difficult. But I guess it was quite good, the fact that it was at the end of the season, if that makes sense. If it was at the start of the season, I know Costley went through something similar in a way. Bit of a wet blanket, but his weren't as bad as mine.
So do you think that you will adopt his attitude to rehab by going to play rugby for Barnes and putting your body on the line? Because that's obviously helped Captain Cockles. Do you think that would work with you?
Yeah, well, he's a massively sensible person, isn't he, Costley? So I'm sure. Well, he's getting married, so that might change things in the future. But
He better not. He better still play rugby.
but who knows?
So, Loz, how many games did you miss at the end? 'Cause I know it was a Wargrave away. Obviously, we got the news here. Everyone's devastated and et cetera, et cetera. So how many games did you miss towards the end of the season?
I think it was 3. I think so. Not 3 or 4. If you
So
if
it's
you
30
include
overs it
Wargrave.
saved you anyway, didn't it, I guess?
Yeah.
You don't like bowling that
No,
much, do
no
you?
harm or anything like that.
No.
I think we lost the last 2 games, didn't we, or whatever?
Yeah, we did.
We certainly. It could be
Shambles.
said that we tailed off slightly towards the end of last season.
Shambles.
Yeah.
So how long after your initial visit at the hospital did you end up having your operation?
I was actually in quite quickly, so I think I was in about the week after, because I was pretty much immobile. I wasn't able to walk or anything like
I
that.
can give you some hints about that. I've been pretty immobile for about 35 years, so if you want some hints,
Did you have an operation 3 or 4 days after, or?
I'm permanently
Oh, yeah.
not being operated
So,
on.
just a bit gruesome. What did you actually do?
It's pretty similar to. There's a few wasps being trod on in here, I reckon.
Someone's just stood on a duck live at the show. Anyway,
So I
go
can
on.
actually taste that.
It's just
Tastes like
Rent-A-Crowd.
Cajun,
Move on.
Cajun chicken or something.
Move on.
Let's just pretend that.
So go on. What did you actually do?
It's basically exactly the same as a ACL construction, so a tear. But what I've actually done was I took my tibia off, the top of my tibia. So my ACL pulled that off essentially. It's not very common at all.
So is that a slightly better injury than doing your ACL completely? Because an ACL injury used to finish you at sport, but now it doesn't. So it's a question of putting the bone back on that's attached to the ACL.
Yeah. So I've got two screws going for my shin now. But it's the same rehab as an ACL, so they're
Right.
treating it as exactly.
Okay.
exactly
Does
the
that
same.
mean that your ACL was almost stronger than your bone?
Yeah, it's weird.
And that's
Drink
quite
more
weird.
milk.
That's
do you,
quite weird.
and do you know what
isn't
it actually is? The surgeon said about a week after or so, he was like, this injury is actually common in kids, in 12-year-old kids. I thought, that's weird.
How would he know that?
I thought, that's weird because I'm going to blame it on mum and dad, to be fair.
I was
because
just about to say, Gary,
veggies,
if you're
veggies,
watching, this is your
veggies.
fault.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I've got a strong feeling. I've got a strong case about it. So
Did you drink
Anyway,
did you drink lots of milk
so
when you
you-
were a kid?
You've had the op, successful,
Gary.
and now you're into rehab. And you told me earlier on that you're now bowling and trying to get the confidence of landing on that front foot and getting some weight through it. And you snicked Cosford off?
yeah, I
first?
snicked Cosford off. I snicked Warner off. I snicked them all off. To be fair,
Well, not surprised.
So I don't
That's
think I don't
for
think
those of you
Glenn
watching who
back.
don't play cricket, that's a technical cricket term.
Schnick.
Schnicko. And has Holly been helpful in your rehab?
No, well, yes, of course she has.
And
We've had a few arguments here and there, sort of thing, along the way. But no, she was brilliant. But obviously she cooked dinner for me every night and done all the cleaning, and she actually had to shower me, which was horrific.
Oh, bear.
so-
Don't say that in front of him.
So,
you
so
know what
things
he's like.
happened. Things happened while she was showering me.
it's not all bad. Now, let's get back to Gary. Now, he didn't give you enough milk. Did you have yogurts for puddings after your meals?
Yeah.
I
Yogurt.
don't know, like goat's milk or some stuff like that, like rare stuff. Trudy and Gary brought an absolute shameful.
Gary is a very famous vegetarian. You vegetarian as well?
No. I turned meat eater, carnivore when I was
So we
about
can't-
14.
we
I
can't
think.
totally blame Gary then for you having weak bones.
No, I
So,
don't,
is there anything you can do about your bones now to stop that happening again, apart from wiring you up?
no. To be fair, it's all.
It's a
all
pretty freaky
It's
accident.
all.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's all down a freak accident.
Unless you're
it's
12.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a split second thing where your mind isn't connected to your muscle memory and whatnot. And obviously, I had two movements going on at the same time. I was trying to turn. I was doing a complex movement, I guess you could say, while trying to run the person out. And it just happens. It's just one of those things.
And the question that our viewer and Rent-A-Crowd and Barnes and I want to know is, when are we going to see you charging in with the ball in your hand?
You might not see me at all. It all just depends. So I've been doing a little bit of sort of bowling at the moment, but it all really just depends on if I come off that full run and we're all good to go, then we're all good to go. So I might do it again. Who knows?
So you're not putting any time pressure on yourself. You'll build up to it slowly, and when you think you're good to go, you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So lots of weight training, lots of stuff trying to strengthen the knee. And
loads of weight training. I'm probably, my legs and my strength and everything's probably best it's ever been. to be
Really?
honest. Yeah. It's crazy.
I wondered what that was hanging out the bottom of your shorts, but
Well,
clearly it's your
exactly.
leg. I thought it was a string.
I sort of
Truncheon.
jokingly said on the way in, how's your left arm spinning going? I mean, it's always something you can revert to as a left.
And don't
as a left
forget,
armer.
this boy's known to walk in,
Yeah.
6 off the last ball,
Absolutely, yeah.
25 points away at
Can,
Brickhill.
do, you,
So
do, you, do you give it a bit of a rip? Can you give it a bit of that?
Yeah, there's a video of me getting Garth out at Brickhill. I do like playing at Brickhill, to be fair.
Down the slope towards the Cowfield.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
There's nothing Brocky can't do, really.
No, very good. But I mean, obviously, if you're not ready to start at any stage during the season, you're most welcome in the comms box with Barnes and myself.
I remember in the very early days, he did a bit of comms, and he was very good, actually.
No, he was very good. Nice, sort of quiet way about him, whereas Barnes
So
and I get very excited.
Are you on track? Are you happy where you're at? The surgeon's happy where you're at?
Yeah, do you know what? Actually, it's really weird because the sort of rehab I'm on, it's a really poor rehab, like sort of the way they've sort of done it. I don't get anything, so I've basically been diagnosing myself.
Well, that's nonsense. I spoke to you about that on text, so have a chat with me afterwards and we'll get you to see somebody.
And do you need to have you got a piece of paper when you go on an aeroplane that says, I'm going to bleep when I go through your machine because I've got a metal leg?
Perhaps. Actually, that's a really good shout, actually. That probably will be the case. So they'll be checking all sorts of parts and areas.
Exactly.
And
I think you need that certificate.
Yeah, because you get rid of that Prince Albert as well, because that sends them off.
That's another cricket term.
That'll be Holly's
viewer.
decision, not mine.
That's very good. I know what you did there. So, obviously, vice captain last year, heavily involved. You heavily involved this year with stuff going on behind the scenes, the pro, what's happening. Woodsy made any difference coming in? Things looking any different, or?
I think he will do. I think he'll make a massive difference off the pitch. I think.
Well, hopefully he's not playing.
Well, yeah. Well, he
First
will.
team.
You're on about the overseas, right? No.
Well, anything. Whether or not is there any difference with Woodsy being master in charge of cricket, taking over from Eric? And obviously the pros, obviously, from what we've seen, looks very, very good and is playing at a very, very high level.
Yep.
Have we got any other new players coming in apart from an Aussie, or any local signings?
No, I think there was one youngster. I think that's coming in. His dad's played for Sunningwell or something like that. I think he's the same age as Joe Bofer and all those youngsters. But I don't think there's any other sort of other. So
there's
signings.
no Powleys or Crosses or someone crossing the turf to come to Stanley?
No, not that I know of. It's fairly sustainable.
It's good. I mean, you must feel this. It's always the second season bounce effect that no team is going to take us for granted like they perhaps did at the start of last season. So it's going to be a hard season, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it'll be a lot more difficult this year because I think if you were here at the games for the first team, a lot of teams generally thought, okay, they're gonna collapse, they're gonna completely go to pieces. But yeah, I think a lot of teams are going to take us very seriously.
But I suppose Cockle's coming back.
That's like having a new player, isn't it, really?
Well, yeah, I like having a new player, but if you thought about it, if Cockles wasn't coming back, you're down one of your main bowlers as well that was going to bowl majority or certainly 25% of the overs that are bowled in each game. So that's a big loss. So Cockles coming back fills that hole, but ideally you want Loz tearing in from the Chapel end and then Cockles either tearing up from the bottom end or coming on first change.
And Warnes has been opening the bowling with you for a long time as a pair.
Yeah,
it'll be new for him. Sort of not opening with you on a regular basis. That'll be a new thing.
And that left-hand, right-hand combo I like as well. So.
Yeah, we need Costley back. I know he loves his rugby and whatnot.
Does he?
He loves his rugby, doesn't he? Some old boy's got him under a whip or
so does
I don't know what's
Powley, by
going
the
on there.
way, as well. I've lured him in.
Powley's broke his thumb. That's new news, isn't it?
Has he?
Yeah.
When?
Thumbing or whatever it was he was doing. Rugby. He knows.
Has he?
No, he hasn't. No, he's all right.
So we need him in the next league game. Shut up, otherwise you'll be playing.
But so what? I mean, if everything goes to plan, when do you think? I mean, I'm not holding you to this obviously, but if everything goes to plan, your rehab goes well, everything starts to work properly, I presume you have to do a couple of games in the 2s or 3s just to sort of go through the motion of bowling a bit and stuff like that.
No, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Every week I'm going to try and build it up even more and more and try and come off a longer run up and put some more force through the knee.
Yeah.
It's just getting the confidence back, and then I'm actually due to play or to bowl on the Sunday. So we mentioned about the VKO day or whatnot.
Yeah.
Whilst that VKO is going on, we've still got a game against Lansdowne, I think. So I'm due to play on that day, and if it all goes bottoms up, I guess you could say, without swearing and whatnot, Bish will be in control, either to take me to hospital or bowl a few overs.
Well, if you play at Lansdowne, the hospital's right next door to the cricket pitch.
It's perfect. It's brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Right, shall we move on to some bit more light-hearted
Yes,
fun?
you've got a quiz for him.
Yeah, I've
Well
gone
done,
old.
excellent.
I've gone old
This is the
school.
bit you've been looking forward to.
This is quick fire.
Can I just say,
right?
any of the information that that's involved in this quiz, we got from Badger. That's all we're saying.
This is quick fire.
Let's do it. Let's go for it.
First cricket memory.
Summerfield School, Oxfordshire.
Posh, very posh. First cricketing hero.
Brett Lee.
Who's the best sportsman, Gary or Kevin Brock?
Oh, Kevin Brock.
Oh, I can't believe you just said that. Favourite singer or band?
Probably Justin Timberlake.
Weird. Favourite film and why?
Gladiator, because
Not Dirty Dancing.
No, Dirty Dancing is probably second. To be fair,
So is Gladiator 2...
I love watermelons.
Is Gladiator 2 as good as Gladiator 1?
Gladiator 2 is. I haven't even bothered with it. So yeah.
Oh, no, you
terrible.
must.
No,
It's a
no,
great film.
no.
Okay,
Anyone else?
You're on-
watched it? Oh,
you're on death
crap,
row.
What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Your 3 last meals.
Calamari would be my starter. And then we'll go for probably a roast with a gammon, I think. And then we'd have profiteroles, or it would be like a sticky toffee pudding, I think.
Sorry, can I
Strong.
just ask, egg or pineapple with a gammon?
On a roast.
Neither. What are we talking about here?
Anyway, quick game's a good game. Who would you most like to meet who's alive, and who would you have most liked to meet that's now currently dead?
Oh, that's a really difficult one. Alive would probably be Brett Lee or Mitchell Johnson, I reckon, just because they just got fire, haven't they?
Yeah,
There's fire.
yeah.
Dead would probably be someone like I don't know who's a good sporting person, like Muhammad Ali or something like that.
Goodie. Bat or bowl?
Bowl.
Favourite position?
Yeah, we'll go cover, but Willsey likes cover, so it has to be mid wicket.
Oh, you said something about a shower earlier on, mate, to be
Yeah.
honest, so you've really let the side down. What's the best club for tees, not downs?
Possibly Harefield. Unbelievable teas at Harefield. Yeah.
Go-to karaoke song?
It would be Sean Kingston, Beautiful Girls.
Favourite ice cream?
Neapolitan.
Good. Liverpool or Arsenal? Can't say neither.
Liverpool.
What's the family link to Tim Hook losing one of his knackers to you?
Brilliant story.
Well, he didn't think that at the time.
So yeah, Hookie's partner at the time. So that's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Good. So he doesn't watch this. You're okay.
She's in labour, and my mum is a midwife. So she's given birth or whatnot, and everything's going on. Hookie comes in, he's got his own problems going on because he's missing a testy. So mum's like, what's going on with you? How are you getting on? And Hookie's like, yeah, I've got some trouble down there playing cricket. And mum's like, oh yeah, my son plays cricket. And basically it turns out that Lloyd, my brother, was either bowling or he was in the same team. It was either Lloyd or Matt Taylor was bowling, hit Hookie in the testes. Hookie wasn't wearing a box, and that's the story from there. So mum just proceeded to deliver Hookie's baby. So
Are we sure it took his baby if he didn't have a
It clearly proves that you don't need a full set then,
Yeah,
does it? 'Cause
absolutely.
there's evidence of that, which is really good. Best teammate?
it's so difficult.
I know.
I know, but you've got to commit.
Is it current or old?
Well, whatever. Who's your favourite teammate?
It would probably be going through it all together and whatnot. Probably Joe Thomas.
Who's the best dancer you've ever played cricket with?
I think Will Watts. Yeah.
Really? You need to get out
Thank
more.
goodness he's good at something.
Yeah. He's good at driving. He went to Sheffield today. Who's the most fun to play cricket with?
I love it and I hate it. Probably George Sandbach.
Last question. I hear you recently moved house and you're now into gardening. Is that uphill or just ordinary gardening?
I'd like to be called Alan from time to time.
Alan, what, Titchmarsh or Shanks?
Both.
There you go. That was very good, Brocky.
It was.
I
Has
like
it got a
that.
nice shower in this new house? Has it got a big shower?
Are you back to positions again?
There's plenty of showers kicking in.
Good. Fantastic. Well,
Very
well done,
good.
Barnes. Very good, Brookie. We look forward to seeing you doing your stuff during the season. Well done.
Top
Round
man.
of applause from the crowd. Thank you.
You stay until the end.
Very good. Very good to have a young legend amongst us.
Yeah. Back on his feet.
Right, Barnes, I've got a little quizette for you.
Oh,
No, the answer is very, very straightforward.
This seat's very warm,
A
Brocky.
couple of questions at the end that Rent-A-Crowd might need to help you with. Stop cheating. Question number 1, Champions League or Premier League?
Prem.
Well, you've not got much choice, have you? Will or Gus?
Cockles. My grandchildren, you fools.
Top Gun 2 or Gladiator 2?
Haven't seen either of them, don't care. Toy Story 2.
You should see both of them, right?
Toy Story.
Okay. Rachel Reeves or Dennis Healy?
Yeah. To be fair, Dennis Healy's eyebrows are the same length of the Lego hair that Reeves wears.
Yeah, she's stunning. Blancmange or Semolina?
Oh, both revolting. Oh. I'm going to go blancmange because I like the saying of when you see somebody all in lycra and they look like an unset blancmange.
Yes, I like that. Baby Guinness or Tequila Rosé?
Oh, baby Guinness.
Trump or Putin?
Big J. Donald J.
Chris Tarrant or Jeremy Clarkson?
Oh, Christ. Clarkson.
It's better show with him.
Yeah.
Better show with him. Gus or Will? Notice how I switched the names around to see if that made a difference.
Christ. I love you equally, boys, all right?
Okay. Even though Will is possibly the worst cricketer in the whole league.
Well, he was.
Well, clearly, yeah. He only got 500 runs.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Brute or Old Spice?
Oh.
Not to drink, to wear.
I was more of a Blue Stratos man myself. I was
Not a Koros.
I was a bit edgy.
Koros? Who had Koros back in the day? Yeah, I bet you did, Badger, yes. Okay, now...
Denim.
So you're going for...
I had Blue Stratos, but
Stratos.
did Brute or Old Spice?
So you got... Is that Henry Cooper or Kevin Keegan? Or did Henry Cooper was the same as Kevin Keegan? Whatever. Right, okay, now this little quiz question. You've got to concentrate for this.
Oh, I hate
It's
these.
got
Go
3
on.
parts.
Right.
You name me a Manchester United player who's named after a country. You can help if you want, crowd. Currently a presenter on...
Question again?
A Manchester United player named after a country. No.
Go on, I don't know.
Alan Brazil.
Oh, I see. I was associating with Tottenham.
So, Manchester United player named after a flower. Any ideas? Gosh, my man. I thought you'd be better.
John Tulip.
No, good, close.
Dennis Lilly.
Except he was a cricketer and didn't play for
I know
Manchester
that.
United.
Who?
Jackie Blanchflower.
Yeah, you've got to remember I'm 55, not 85.
Yes, look it up, it's true. And
no,
the
I do
final
believe
one,
you, yeah.
the Manchester United player named after a German newspaper. That's Jerry Daly.
That's quite funny. That's very good. The first two were rubbish. That's genius. That's genius. That's very good. That's very good.
You got it right. Second question. This is also in 3 parts. What was Zimbabwe formerly known as?
Rhodesia.
See, Rent-A-Crowd. You see, geography. They've got it right. What was Sri Lanka formerly known as? Finally, what was Iceland formerly known as?
Iceland!
No, it's going to be the supermarket, isn't it?
It's B-Jam.
Yeah, there you go. BJ used to be one in Botley, didn't there? Suckers! You get the intelligent ones and leave the dumb ones to
Yes,
me.
you see, but every dog has his day, Barnes. Every dog has his day. Right.
B-jams. That's so good.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so we're nearly at the end of
Thank
the show.
the Lord for that.
I thought we'd just guests coming up, and I'm so pleased that the current producer and his assistant have agreed to let us have a podcast every month from now all the way to September.
Look at him, look
It's
at him.
brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. We're so proud of that. So we've got plenty of opportunities for guests, but on the build-up to the season, we could probably squeeze in 2 guests a day. We want obviously Master in charge of cricket. He can come and tell us about his
He
plans,
was asked, but he
his
works
plans for the
on
season.
Wednesday nights.
All 4 men's team captains will need to come here and explain their plans for the season. The ladies' captain will have to women's captain will have to come and explain her plans for the season. I think we should get the chairman here. You know, how many times he expects to be buying chairman's drinks during the course of the season. And both if we have 1 pro, him, and if we have 2 pros, both of them. From what I don't know yet whether the women's team are getting a pro. But we don't know, possibly. So anyway, that's that. So as we normally finish on a sort of 2 Ronnies-esque thing, I thought I went onto the internet because as a kid I remember the great way they finished their shows, and I just plucked a couple out. Some of you slightly older members will remember
Is this like
so-
reading
right.
the news? Is that what it
Is it? So and finally, after a series of crimes in the Glasgow area, Chief Inspector McTavish has announced he's looking for a man with 1 eye. If he can't find him, he's going to use both eyes. We've just heard that in the English Channel, a ship carrying blue paint has collided with a ship carrying purple paint. It's believed that both crews have been marooned.
It's very good. It's like B-jams. Get over yourself.
Right, this is my personal favourite. A cement mixer has collided with a prison van on the A34. Motorists have been told to be on the lookout for 16 hardened criminals.
Can we have those every week?
And finally,
Yeah.
rumours that Rachel Reeves is becoming more popular have been confirmed today. Someone has actually touched her with a barge pole.
Was that on the 2 Ronnies?
No, it was another politician. It was Norman Tebbit, actually.
Oh, it was Norman Tebbit.
I thought Rachel Reeves was more contemporary than Norman Tebbit.
Oh,
but I think
brilliant.
I'm going to add that as an extra
That's
thing
very
at the end of
good.
this,
That's very
the
good.
2 Ronnies were absolute geniuses.
Yeah, they were very.
I've enjoyed this little session.
Oh.
Thank you so much to the current producer. Thank you to Red Crowd. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you to Badger for coming here very early to set things up with the current producer. Thank you to our viewer. I'd like to just a quick shout out for my little nephew-in-law, Robert, who is lying in bed having had both bunions shaved off both feet. The poor boy's lying in bed watching the box set of Game of Thrones at the moment.
So he's not watching this?
Well, I'm assuming he's watching this in between watching the box set of Game of Thrones. But anyway,
hope so.
Robert, get well soon.
Yeah, good luck, chap. That sounds awful.
And thank you very much for watching, viewer, and we'll see you in about a month's time. And Barnes,
It's good night.
it's good
you.
night from me.
It's good night for me.
Good night, Barnes. Good show.